Here we go. So happy Friday, everybody. We are here for our distance learning COP Community of Practice. And let's get started off with a little Jimi Hendrix. How does that sound? And you may be asking why. Ooh, am I sharing the right thing? Let's see, wait. Here we go.
Purple Haze?
Because of feedback, and for two reasons. Feedback and his rendition of the national anthem was so iconic. And there happens to be a very popular game played on Sunday where the national anthem is a very popular song to hear. And there have been many famous renditions of that. So let's just listen to a little bit of Jimmy. I'll turn down the volume. But Jimmy was the master of feedback, and that's part of what our big message is, right? This year is feedback for growth mindset. And I think we can attribute it. We can find some sort of correlation to the master, Mr. Jimi Hendrix, and his very comprehensive use of feedback. So it's a different kind of feedback, but it's a fun way to get in the mood. And speaking of the Super Bowl, we are going to have a little poll question about the Super Bowl to get us included. So let's find our, oh no, that's not it. Where is this poll? So it's not this poll. It is our Super Bowl survey. Okay. So I'm launching this. Hopefully you see on your screen, there's a few questions about the Super Bowl. Go ahead and answer them.
And just for the record, Bob, I'm going to take
Yes.
the team that has a quarterback from Texas.
Ooh, let's see, a quarterback from Texas. Now, does that include both of them?
Absolutely.
So Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes are both from Texas. Okay. I didn't know that.
Jalen Hurts played for Colleyville High School, and then Patrick Mahomes, of course, he played for White House, Texas High School, and he played for Texas Tech, which was my alma mater.
Really? Oh, yeah, I think I did know that about you. You were
And then, by the
Red Raider.
Philadelphia. Yeah, by the way, Philadelphia has a defensive back from Texas Tech. So either way, I don't care.
You're a winner.
I love Mahomes.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a special talent, that's for sure.
And he actually does a lot more than just play football. He also got involved with the Kansas City Royals. And then what he's done is he set up Royal Stadium, like many Royal stadiums in underdeveloped areas, to give kids something else to do besides get into the trouble. And then because Patrick Mahomes' dad played baseball. He was a Major League Baseball player.
Oh yeah, he was.
And so he bought into the stake of the Kansas City Royals. And then what he does is he's setting up these mini Royal stadiums in and around Kansas City in very low income areas to help these kids get off the street and play baseball.
So he's a humanitarian too. That's good to hear.
Oh my God, yes. And then also, by the way, he's also bringing Whataburger to Kansas City.
Really? Oh, Whataburger's like from Arizona, isn't it?
No, my goodness, no.
It's from Texas?
No. It is from Texas.
Really?
Corpus Christi. It's from Corpus.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, the only time I had it was when I was in Arizona. They're very good.
Yeah, that's the farthest west you can get it.
Okay, we have 12 out of 13, 92% participating. I'm going to end the poll. Has everyone done it? There's one person. Yay, 13 out of 13. Let's look at the results. Okay, I'm sharing the results. Who can read number one?
You need to scroll up. We can only see 2 and 3 on the screen.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Let's see.
I can see it, Bob.
Can you
Oh, you
see it?
can?
Will you read it out loud?
You can
Yeah,
scroll it
all right.
yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Are
It
you
says,
planning on watching the
watch-
Super Bowl on Sunday?
Yes.
23% yes, 69 no, 8% I'm not sure, maybe.
Wow. So look at that. A lot of no's. Very interesting. Number 2. Who can read that one?
Who do you want to win the Super Bowl? 85%, I don't care either way. 15%, I hope the game ends in a
Wow.
tie.
Now that
No preferences.
only teachers would answer that way. That's so funny. Okay, number 3.
Number 3 is what, if anything, are you looking forward to the most about the Super Bowl? 38% halftime show. Rihanna.
Oh,
My gosh.
Rihanna.
The funny
Now-
commercials, 23%, 31% eating food and enjoying snacks, 38%. I'm looking forward to being there, to there being less traffic on Sunday.
Right? There's always less traffic.
8% the game, and 15% I'm not looking forward to going back to work on Monday.
And I think I'm the 8% about Chris Stapleton singing the national anthem, which brings us back to Jimi Hendrix's version, because Chris Stapleton, I'm betting, will deliver a fantastic and iconic national anthem. I love that guy. All right. Anyways, we are ready to rock and roll. Thanks everybody for coming. We have let me get my screen shared properly here. So we have a short, stop. Sorry, Jimmy. So we have a short COP today, but we have some help. We have Holland and Lorena are going to share a couple things, and Murray via video is going to share some of his best practices, the incomparable Murray Cohen. So we're going to do a quick review of record keeping. How's it going? Remember our last COP, we went over some of the new guidelines and what we're trying to push us to is more digital stuff, but there's no rush, right? There's no due date on this. It's just like when you guys are able to start scaffolding up the digital record keeping, let's do it. And we'll help you with it. Then, like I said, we're going to have Lorena and Holland share some growth mindset feedback, right? So all feedback, we want to encourage our students to have that growth mindset, mastery learning, thinking about improving. It's not like just you did it wrong, goodbye, see you later, not one and done, but they're on a progression chart. And how do we tell that to our students in distance learning? It's, it can be more complicated. Then we're going to talk about level 6 teachers. We're going to try to figure out who actually has level 6 distance learning students, because we're going to need your help on fine tuning what our plan is, and we can tweak it. We can, take your suggestions, whatever you guys think will benefit the student the most. And then we'll have our feedback and our sign in. So let's get to it. We took our survey. I want to also look at who we are and get some, I think there's some teachers who may have fallen through the cracks. It's kind of hard to find who are the distance learning teachers. So we were trying to get like a robust list of who's teaching distance learning, and we found out that some people are maybe having some distance learning hours and we don't know about it, so it's hard to support them. So I want to, let's see if I have this. Let's see, I want to share this list with you, and if you could help me identify maybe missing people. So right now, this is who I have teaching distance learning. Luis Ayala, Monica, Robin Carr, Margarita Murray, Maria Galvez, Jennifer Gordon, Delia Grant, Annie Leon, Holland, Nancy, Rita, Cheryl Miller, Silva Jorian, Sharon, Sandra Ramirez, who's here, Bruce, I think I don't know if he's still teaching it, Leonora, Shelley, Lorena, Grelia, Ronald Kelly, anybody else that I'm missing?
I don't believe Ronald is teaching it anymore.
Okay. So Ronald, no.
Is that correct, Lorena?
I am. I've got 5 hours.
Correct.
So Kevin is.
5
See,
hours, and then also Luis Ayala.
Oh yeah, and Luis.
He has 5 hours in it also.
So it's so hard to figure out like who's teaching it. I guess on the roster and day, sometimes they have it at the beginning of the term, and then maybe they're not updating it. I'm not sure.
And Annie
I
Leon
know
is not teaching it. Is
Not right now.
doing
Okay.
it. No.
No.
I know who's teaching it at my site.
Who's-
Can you guys hear me? Can
Yeah.
you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Nancy McGaffin is teaching it,
Okay.
and Kelly Sachs are teaching it
Okay.
at
so
my
Kelly.
site.
Okay. Oh, I
Are they
spelled
getting?
Kelly wrong.
Oh, Zach's with X. Yeah. But are they getting the invitations to these meetings?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they are. So, okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. And we'll have to, keep that list updated so that, people are getting these messages and that we're helping them. All right. So let's go back to our slideshow. Record keeping. How are we doing? How's everyone doing with their record keeping? So some of you shared in our survey and in the pre-meeting survey, we had a lot of respondents and you shared what's going on. So let's see what that looks like. You go to it now. I'll let you guys I'll put this in the chat and you can look at it yourself. So I put the first, I think 8 people who responded, I put their answers on this Google slide. So in the chat, if you want to click on it yourself and read it at your own pace, but I will share on my screen what some of them said. It's kind of interesting. So we did a little pre-COP survey, and I'll put that link in if you guys want to actually take the survey and you didn't take it. And how do you keep your student record sheets? Paper, hard copy, 3 people. Digitally on your computer desktop or other. So we still have quite a few people doing it paper. Then I have 2 pages of describing the process, what your particular process is for filling out and saving your DL records. Some, it's all digital. Some, it's all on Schoology. It's nice and organized. Some people are turning it in on paper only, keeping it in manila folders.
Bob, I'm curious, all on Schoology, is that an option? Because that sounds great.
Yeah, I'm curious who answered that way. Is someone here who answered that they do it all on Schoology? And let me share that that survey with you in case you weren't able to take it. So in the chat is a survey. So you can tell us what you're doing with your record keeping. Okay. Are you guys able to read the Google slide with the results? Anyone having problems?
I'm sorry, are we looking at the slide or the survey?
I put some of the early results in the slideshow, and if you weren't able to participate in the survey, you can go ahead
Oh,
and
I see.
answer.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let me go back and I'll share these early. Let's see. Yeah, if it's on Schoology, wouldn't the file close after 5 years? So that is a concern. That's in the chat. And then we put a question in, how satisfied are you with your record keeping? How comfortable, one being not satisfied, four being you're satisfied with the way you're doing it. So it seems like most people are satisfied with how you're doing it. 3s and 4s, but there is, maybe 1 or 2 of you who are just not satisfied. So we hope that you could reach out, get assistance from us. Hopefully today will help you a little bit. Okay, then we're on to the last 2 questions are about your level 5s and 6s. So this is what we're going to talk about towards the end, where we're going to have you sort of sign up if you have level 5s and 6s to help us out. Not really piloting, but how working out the kinks, refining what our level 5 and 6 projects are going to be. So,
Bob, if I can ask a question.
yes.
If I have a level 5 student, I've started one student in level 5. Is that okay? Or are we supposed to wait for this to be completed before
No,
allowing people to do 5?
you can begin. The way we have it set up in the guidebook, definitely you can start that. But we were hearing that, oh, I might not be able to do it that way. I might not be able to do a video. A flyer doesn't seem like the right thing for my students. So we want to be able to, open this up so that we're including more, as long as they're rigorous, final projects, especially if you guys have really good ideas that we haven't thought of. Okay. So if you could see the screen of these preliminary respondents, only one person had, level 5, like 1 to 3 students that are level 5. So if you guys want to just call out right now, is anyone out there who currently has a level 5 or 6 distance learning student? Holland? Anyone else? You can unmute and say. Yeah, so that's the thing. Not too many of you have it. So is there anyone raising their hand that I did not see?
I've been enrolled a level 5, but I haven't gotten any responses from this one student.
And the 5s are coming from people who are completing the 4s.
Okay. And they have not officially begun yet, or?
No, I have one who has officially begun.
Okay.
But I expect others as they're nearing the end of 4.
Okay. All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
The materials for levels 5 and 6 are sent to us on Schoology, or how does that work? Because I haven't enrolled or scheduled any students for distance learning in 5 and 6.
In 5 and 6. So what they'll be doing, will be working, level 5 will be working in Burlington English.
Oh.
Okay.
4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6. Thank you.
Burlington and Schoology for
Right.
the testing.
Yeah. Okay. And then that final exit, level 6, is going to be a special project. And that's what we're concerned about.
Is there a special project for 5, or is 5 the same as 4?
That's a good question, because I think we're just trying to identify the 5 who will be level 6.
So for now, 5 is the same as 4. It's
yes.
Burlington and the Schoology tests.
Yeah,
okay.
Correct. Yeah, right. So yeah, 5 is just, we're throwing that out there so we can, predict and be ready. Oh, this teacher has a level 5, maybe they're ready for 6, so that we can help serve them best. Okay. Right. Okay, let's go back to our slideshow. So any other noticings or wonderings about that pre-survey that you looked at, how people are doing the record keeping? Anyone? And we have a small group, so you can just call it out.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there going to be formal training? I do everything on paper. I only have levels 1, 2, and 3. Is there going to be, like in the summer, like a formal training, how to do the higher levels online?
We could definitely create that, and we could always, do a one-on-one with you. But I think that's a good idea, Sharon, to have like a formal training for that. And I think that's a good time, summer. Like we said, we're going to have lots of changes for the summer and for next fall, as we fix a lot of the concerns that you guys came up with. That's the plan, is you guys continue looking at the putting English to work, looking at the Schoology, what can we improve? And then we'll push out a new version for fall, and we could take time over the summer, I hope, and fix things, make it better, do a training for level 6. That's a good idea.
That would be good for me, because if people are just throwing stuff out, I can't catch it. I need a formal training, and then I can do it if I'm trained, but just throwing things out, I can't catch where you are.
Okay. I think that's a very good idea.
Also, I'll offer, it's a small thing. Bob and Lorena have done it. I didn't set it up to be a training thing or anything professional, but I made a 12-minute video for my level 4, 5, and 6 for those using it on Burlington that takes them step through step, that if you're interested in looking at, just send me a message and I'll be happy to send you the link. It's
Okay.
again, it isn't something that I did, I just did it for my students. But I do find my students, it's helping them understand it. So it might be useful as an introduction.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, oh, good. Luis has a comment in the chat. Can we also have a training on how to transfer the reg forms and completion forms into digital files? Yes, I think that's a good training. Again, Luis, we could do that one-on-one too. Okay. But yeah, it's growth mindset for ourselves too, Sharon. We're new to a lot of this stuff. We don't need to stress out and just get to that number 4 category of exceeding all expectations, but let's just go step by step and do what we can do, like a +1, one thing at a time. Lorena has a good comment in the chat. Depends on the student.
I'm answering 10's question.
Oh.
She's asked, he or she, I don't know who 10 is asking, what's the average number of hours that are usually assigned to have a successful distance learning program? It depends on the student. I mean, some students tell me, give me more than 1 to 2. Sometimes I'll give them 5, and then they'll whip out 5 in a week.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the student, but average is 1 to 2 units per week.
Yeah, per student, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. We want people participating. We don't want them just doing nothing.
So Louise says, I meant the number of hours assigned to teach you. Oh, okay.
Oh, I
That
don't
wasn't
know.
clear.
Yeah, that depends.
Yeah.
Totally depends, yeah.
I meant the number assigned to teach.
But that would be interesting too, like how many hours some of you have compared to others, and why, how did you get that? What's the process?
I mean, my hours are Monday to Friday, 8 to 10, and I find myself working over those 2 hours a day.
Yeah, it could be more time intensive than you think, right? Okay, let's continue. So we did have a discussion, pre-COP discussion, and it's just a good idea to look back, see what we said. Some of you participated, and this was about the question of what is an example of feedback that you're giving to your distance learning students? In what form did you give that feedback? Some of you are in person, some of you are doing all digital. So we had some interesting answers. Let me stop sharing and let's look at that. Let's see here. So if you still want to participate in the discussion, you can. You don't have to do it right now, but that's the good thing about discussions, is that they're open 24/7, right? So they're inclusive. If you would like to look at it later, and you can always learn something from your colleagues, we can learn from each other. So I put that link in the chat. And then I'll go there right now and we can look at this together. So again, it's kind of like that flipped learning. You're just sort of priming yourself for what we were going to do today and thinking about that feedback. So Kevin, I liked his answer. He goes page by page. So Kevin's doing it really intensively. And then he gives those booklets back to them. And I love how he bends the corners of the pages so it highlights the errors. They know where to go.
Great idea.
Super accessible. And then Sharon, I loved her answer too. She's getting very detailed in terms of like topic sentences and mechanics. And I should refresh my screen. Maybe some of you have added to it. Oh, good. Luis added his. So Luis is already incorporating the speaking, having the students read the questions out loud. I like that because that eventually will lead us to why we want our level 6 completers of distance learning to have a speaking component. So he's preparing them for it. I like that. Are you guys able to access this? This is in our Schoology distance learning group. Okay. So every time we have a COP, we have a pre-meeting discussion. Okay. So this is distance learning. I think you're all members. If you're not, I will give you the access code. You can see what it looks like. I'll put this in the chat.
I think we only got your survey. I don't think we got this.
So this was
You sent
also
it
at,
today?
yeah, no, this is at the end of the survey. There was a link to go to this discussion, and then I sent it out today also. But again, with these discussions, you can go back and do it later because we'll have these archived. Okay. Any comments on feedback?
I'd just like to ask, if I may,
Yeah.
on the comments, Sharon, when you say that you go over it, that you have the students in person, are they in person for like a regular class, or?
Well, I'm at Venice Skills Center and some of the students here are actually ESL students in someone else's class. So they come to my room before or after their class.
So how does that work with timing? Because I find that I have students who are concurrently in another teacher's
Mhm.
class, and they come to me as they're shutting the school down. So I'm basically feel like I don't have a lot of face-to-face time with the concurrent students. I'm wondering how that works in your
You know,
situation.
I stay overtime. My hours are just here from 10:45 till 12:45, and that's when their class is. So it's not like they're going to close the school down. It's just
I
if,
see.
if they maybe drop their book off with me before they go to class, then I correct it while they're in class. Then they come back after they finish their class, and that's when I spend a few minutes with them. I don't have that many students who are active. Maybe I have 30 or 35.
That's great.
But
Okay. Yeah.
so it's not that often, and not many of them are that. I do it with the higher level 3. With the 1 and 2, not so much because they're not writing the paragraphs really yet.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
My distance learning hours at night. So, they're waiting for me in the office because I'm the
Yeah.
last one.
Everyone's waiting for you. Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Mhm.
Good question. And thank you, Sharon. And
Mhm.
so how many of us here are doing paper in person? Maybe call it out, raise your hand. Sharon,
Combination.
Lorena, Combo, Holland, Kevin? Yep,
Yes, I am.
Louise? Okay, and Louise. Robin? Okay, so quite a few. So that's good
And
to know.
Luis says.
Louise says, yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so let's go on to some best practices, speaking about feedback. And yeah, it's tough. Like we have people in person with paper. We have people who are doing it only on Schoology. And so it's totally different. How do you give feedback? Are you just getting a red pen out and marking the stuff up and here you go? Or are you writing messages? Are you giving them stuff that they can improve on? because that's what the goal is. We want to help them improve and give them things that they can actually have that next step, right? So if they're at a not yet stage, they can move to that next step. So we
Hey,
have,
Bob,
yes, Kevin,
can I throw a little caveat in there? It's something
yes.
that I learned long ago. For those of you that use red pen for the books, throw that red pen in the trash.
Yeah.
Use purple pen. Here's the reason why. Look at red. What is the color red? Red is stop. Red is blood. Red is negative. I learned this when I was dealing with some at-risk kids. Is that if you have a paper, student has a paper, you write all over it. Hey, this is great, wonderful, fantastic, good job, and all this. Those students will not see what the actual writing is. They're looking at the red. So if you change that red, you turn it into purple or blue. If the student is doing the work in pencil, do it in blue, do it in purple, do it in another color. But again, I'm going to emphasize, I truly believe you throw that red pen in the trash for that reason.
And how, Kevin? Yeah,
Agreed. Yeah.
you got to be conscious of where people are coming from. Yeah, and it just has a bad connotation, bad stigma. You know, some people are old school and they come from countries where it's very authoritarian, and you don't know what they went through. And if they might be used to it, we might be used to it, but it doesn't mean it's the best way. So if we could make a nice conscious effort to just let's try a different color, I think you're going to help more than you will with red. So thanks, Kevin. So that brings us to our best practices. And hopefully none of them use the color red. They're quickly changing out their pens for purple and pink. So we have Lorena Holland and then a video from Murray. And it's just, we're going to learn what they do, and we can, take it and, hopefully learn something from it. If not, that's fine. But everyone has their own style and a way of giving feedback. I was wondering if Lorena and Holland, do you want to watch Murray's video first?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, so let's watch Murray. He's the king of these videos. They're so good. And we don't have to watch the whole thing. Here, I'm going to put this in the chat so you could see what he had. A semi-family emergency, actually was around a pet. So pets are our loved ones, right? Okay, so here's what Murray said, and then let's watch him in action. Okay.
Hi, So Young. This is Murray, your teacher. How are you? I saw you did some work last night at around 10:30. Good for you. You found a time to do it. I wanted to just show you one of these teacher grading needed exercises. And this is perfect because I was telling you about this, and you did one last night, and this gives me an opportunity to show you how this kind of works. So this is Unit 1, Hopes for the Future, Part 2. And this is what I see when it comes to me. So, and I'll just show you this. Now, the computer graded all of these as incorrect, but let's look more closely at it and find out exactly why it calls them incorrect. That would be the place to start. Okay, readjusting this. Okay, so what kind of job did Sonia want? And let's look at the answer that's correct here. She wanted a television reporter job. So notice this. The reason this was counted wrong is because, first of all, you did not capitalize she. You need to capitalize she and the S and she. And also, the question is asked in the past tense. What kind of job did Sonia want? What kind of job did Sonia want? So they're expecting you to answer it in the past tense. remember this. The computer, of course, it only has right and wrong. It's a very dumb computer program. It doesn't say, oh, well, most of it's right. Most of what you wrote is correct, right? Most of what you wrote is brilliant. So all it says is, nope, one thing is wrong. It's all wrong. So don't worry too much. That's why I have a job, because I get to correct it, because our computer system is not very smart. Thank goodness they need somebody like me to help. So here we go. I'm going to annotate this. And so taking your sentence, she wants to be a television reporter. Just all you need to do is she wanted to be a television reporter. And that automatically returned, and I'll fix that right now. Okay, so two small things. One is the verb tense, but now that you know this, you'll understand it better. And also make sure you capitalize all the sentences. What did Sonia do in Moscow? She did a radio announcer. So what did she do? Probably don't use the word did, because in this case, I like that you did it in the past tense, but I think in this case, what did she do? And that means, what was her job? She or Sonia also was a radio announcer. She was a radio announcer. Okay, she was a radio. Oh yeah, she was a radio announcer. Again, this is the verb to be, is, am, or are. In the past is, was.
So we get what's going on here. And yeah, we saw that he wrote in red. Oh no. But what are your observations?
This is terrific. I want to know how he did the annotation in the recording. How is he recording this?
I think he uses Loom.
It's Loom.
Kevin
okay.
might be able to identify what he's using. It's either Loom or Screencastify.
Yeah, it's probably, I don't know. It's either one. I love Loom because I have an account with Loom.
Okay.
Screencastify is Google, so it's a Google supported. So a lot of our stuff is Google supported. So, but I've been using Loom for so long that I prefer it. But a lot of teachers use Screencastify.
Well, I'm inspired to learn one of them now.
Yeah. And there's other like kind of hacks that you could do. You could just open up a Zoom to yourself, share your screen to yourself, and just record it. So Luis is asking, what is Loom? So yeah, it's one of the programs out there where you can record your screen. It'll put your picture in the corner like Murray's is. And then it's kind of like Zoom. You're sharing your screen, you're sharing whatever pages you have, and then you can annotate on it.
Now,
Hey guys, so there's a lot of people asking about Loom. All you have to go is to loom.com. And then when it says sign up or sign in, go sign in with Google. And then your Google will be your LAUSD account. And there you go. It's pretty self-explanatory. I wouldn't do a PD on it because I'll be done in about 10 minutes, maybe 5, maybe 3. It's super easy.
And then how is this delivered to the student? As a link is this as a YouTube link?
Yeah, so he then puts it up to YouTube, sends them the link.
Okay, so this is pretty time intensive, for one student. This is a lot for one exercise, one student. That's a lot.
It's really not.
No?
It's actually no.
Okay.
No, because all you have to do is you do it, you record it, boom, you're done, and then you send the student the link, and you can even send the link via Remind.
Yeah.
It's super easy.
Kevin, do you correct your Schoology distance learning this way or similarly?
So I don't have any students on doing online. All of my students for distance learning are doing by paper.
Yeah.
So I do everything by paper. You
But
know, I
when
don't have any upper levels yet.
when you think of how many teacher grading, assignments or teacher graded needed, I don't know. I'm interested in this. If the time, if I could do that quick enough, this is surpasses anything I'm doing.
Yeah, and this is good to think about is when could you do this? You don't have to do it all the time, but at what key moments in your feedback with your students would you do
Right,
something like this?
right.
Yeah.
You know what, I learned Loom when we were online only. And what I did was when I had students, hey, remember to log in over the weekend to complete this quiz, and this is how you do it. Or if you're having problems, this is how you do it. And you can literally do it. You get a link, you can send it out. You can send it out via Remind. It's incredibly easy, highly recommended, and it has your picture down below. Mine, I always have my
And
little picture down below on the lower left.
Kevin, do you still need to upload it to YouTube, or is there some interface so that it does it directly?
No, it actually makes a video for you. All you have to do is just send the link. Now he does more than I would with like YouTube. I just use the link, and everything is on Loom, and then I can use a hyperlink and send it out via Remind or something.
So you could do that in the Schoology when you would put the link in the comments, you give them the grade and then
Yes.
send the
Oh,
link.
Absolutely. Easy. Absolutely. Yes.
Better. So it's okay. Thank you.
Or you can also use you can like even embed the video into something. I mean, I've embedded Loom videos into Schoology so that before students start an exercise, they actually have an understanding on how to do it as far as the technology, towards it.
Or
And you
just
can use it as
audio, right? You could just
you
use
can
audio.
also, you can also use audio. You can have your face on there, or you can even just use audio. I like to have my face on there. That way there's a face to the video, and that way students see you.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. So let's get on and have Lorraine and Holland. If you guys want to just show us an example, tell us what you do. You could share your screen. How do you want to?
Lorena, do you want to start?
Sure. As I'm talking, I can show you what I do with my online folders.
Yay.
Well, during the holidays, I had Christmas cards and little gifts on the table for students. I sent a little message on Remind and said, hey, if you submit your distance learning, you'll pick out a prize. And when the school offered to buy us things for the classroom, I bought erasers and pencils for my students. So that was also, I added those to the prizes too. And so I had one student who was so happy with the Christmas cards, he kept coming to deliver his units. And he said that and some of them would take the cards and not take the envelopes. So I had envelopes without the cards, and I thought, why would they do that? So, but anyway, they're very happy with their prizes. And when I came back from San Francisco, I brought more things from San Francisco, and I also look around my condo to find what I want to get rid of, and it's just a way of giving them an incentive to do their units. So that's one thing.
Persist. Yeah, no, I like that.
I'm trying to get my Chrome up. I was one of the people who said I wasn't thrilled with the recording, and I just thought it needs to be polished. And my best practices, I like to keep the online folders only because it keeps my room from having so much paper.
Mhm.
And so I was trying to bring up my
Your desktop.
yeah. So
It's okay if you can't.
yeah. So when the students come in, I'll collect their units, I write it in a notebook, and then I don't have, sometimes if I have time in the morning, my hours are 8 to 10, Monday to Friday. And if I have time, if I'm not swamped, and if they have time, I'll go over the units with them. And some of them are appreciative in my doing that. But if they're rushing off to class, they're encouraged to just leave it with me, and then they'll pick them up later. And I have a box, and the units are in alphabetical order where they can just come and get the units, pick up the units. And then I also have spare units on the table, you stack level 1, 2, and 3, and I'll grab the units from that stack and give it to them. And then so when I have time, I'll correct them, and then I'll input them into the online folders. So that's what I'm doing. And then with my level 4, 5, and 6, some of them prefer to be meeting me on Zoom during the day, and only if necessary. And I tell them, let me know if you need to meet with me. But if not, we have a night teacher like Holland,
Mhm.
and I've been kind of sending some of my higher level students to Holland because some of them are able to meet with him, prefer the evening, or Holland can deal with them. But the thing is with the 4, 5, and 6, there's this whole level of we need to consult with. I have to send an email to Burlington English with
Mhm.
Matt and Julia so that they can send a username and password to the student. Then we also have to let Ruben know, which I found out. And then I have to CC Farzana. So there's a whole level of a tier of emails that we have to go through. So that's a whole different level. So
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, that's just students have the option of doing it online on Schoology. And I kind of stopped sending them the paperwork online because you had said that we wanted to transfer them from doing the paper to online. So I kind of discouraged that. So those who wanted to come in person, I've given them the option of correcting the paperwork in person, or they can come and pick it up later and then just see my corrections. I hope that answers people's questions. If
No, I
anybody
like
has
that.
any questions.
And I kind of put some of her notes. I took notes on what she was saying. Great ideas. I love the fact that she's able to refer students based on their needs, to Holland. How lucky is that? I think that's great.
Very much
And
appreciated.
yeah. So Holland, you have a little bit of time. Do you want to just share?
Sure, that'd be
Okay.
great. So I don't have any great insights, but I'll just share you some of my thoughts and experiences with distance learning. I'm kind of envious of all the face-to-face time that people seem to have, because just with my situation, that seems to be limited. In terms of feedback, there's 3 main areas that I see in terms of encouragement and motivation. One is just progress. And that's, Remind is perfect for that, especially because a lot of my students are not handing it in. They're doing it on their own on Schoology, and they don't know that I'm seeing it,
Mhm.
So just sending a message, I'd remind, great, wow, your progress is amazing, whatever. The other thing is in the comments, whether it's on paper or if it's on Burlington English, or it's on Schoology. I love to respond to content as well as accuracy. So if there's something I relate to, or me too, or what a great idea, or gee, I never thought of that, or what an interesting, part of your life. So to me, part of it, and this is true for everything we do, it's the personal connection. And in distance learning, because for me, that needs an extra element. I'll also do what I think most of you do, is little drawing emojis, smiley faces. If they get 100%, they get, little stars on the front of their paper. What I'm trying to incorporate, again, in terms of, I think the biggest thing is for them to feel, for our students to feel that they're not in a bubble, that they're working at home, but that they are being supported. One thing I'm trying to do, which, Murray is doing in spades and at a higher level than I am, but what I've started doing is when I have small corrections on Schoology, instead of doing a written correction, I'm doing an audio.
Yeah.
Just saying, hi, Elena, great work. You just need a period at the end of sentence 3, something like that. And I've seen one student, when I was going over, she was just delighted to hear the teacher's voice, which is more personal than a purple pen, a red pen, or a black pen. If the corrections are greater, then that's tough to do on audio. But I try to mix it up. So there's some audio and some correction. What I do for corrections on paper is, to avoid the red pen and too many X's, is I draw arrows to things that need to be corrected. Just so I want you to see this. And, rather than you forgot a period, it will be, don't forget periods, exclamation point. I mean, just things that keep the tone, even your written tone, friendly. I'll try to find one or two things that were problems throughout the booklets, and put that on the front, remember capitals, or remember this, or try to do this. And then, of course, the students who you have for a while, especially at the higher levels, I mean, you really see their progress, and what a joy to make that part of your comments. Wow, look at your progress, and the specifics. You had a topic sentence, you supported it, you did this. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say for what I'm doing at the moment.
Thank you. I mean, you're doing great stuff. All you guys are doing great stuff. It's not easy to do distance learning for all the reasons you guys have been mentioning, the time commitment that people don't think about. It's way more than what you're actually probably getting paid for. And then our need to connect with the students, and how everyone is trying in their best way to connect with students. I love just an emoji, an audio comment, being flexible with them, because that's what it is. It's being accessible. That's why we have distance learning. It's accessibility and equity. So we really appreciate. So I put some of his highlights here, and I will share this recording plus the slideshow and all of the resources after. We always share it into the Schoology distance learning group, okay? But we're running out of time. So we have two things. Right before we get to your feedback, sign in the form. I have a form if you're interested in helping with the ESL 5-6 projects. This is for teachers who have a level 5 or level 5 student or level 6 student or more than one, and you're interested in working with these projects, maybe tweaking them, maybe doing them exactly as how they're laid out in the guidebook. So let me share this with you. And I'll put it in the chat. So this is a Google Doc where you can sign up. Here it is in the chat. If you have a level 5 or a level 6 student and you're interested in either getting help from us or giving us suggestions on what do you think the projects, should they be tweaked a little bit? How will they meet the needs of your students? in the best way.
Bob, in the third column, do you want a name or a number?
Let's see, what was the third column?
ESL 5 or 6 students in your class.
Yeah, what did I want there? Let's see. Colin, 5 or 6. Yeah, how many? A number.
Okay.
Yeah, how many? And if you could differentiate whether they're 5 or 6. Did everyone get access to this link? Okay, Leonora, I can put you down too. I'll put Leonora down. So I'm filling it out for you, Leonora. What school are you at, Leonora? Evans? No,
No.
she's typing in the chat. Oh, West Valley. Okay. Perfect. So
You can
we're
put me down too.
Marina. Okay. Okay, we are about at the end. We just had a short one today. Let me give you your feedback form. Please sign this, fill it out so that you can get reimbursed. Okay. Did everyone get the sign in feedback form in the chat?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Leonora, you're with the transition team. Good. Good to know. Any other comments, questions, concerns for the good of the order?
Uh,
Did you say that that they were kind of correcting the errors that are in the books, putting English to work? Because there are some errors that have been there for years in the actual, text of the book. Did you mention something like they were going to rewrite or fix the errors? Or?
We were only talking about putting English to work on Schoology, so not the actual booklet. So
Oh,
that's good to know.
yeah,
well, also add some instructions to the vocabulary part. I always tell the student that when you write the answer, the form might change. You might have to add S or something, and it's not. It would be so great if that was in the instructions, because they're
Right.
just copying them,
Okay.
and they, yeah.
So instructions clear. So yeah,
A good
fixing the
point.
paper booklets. That's a good. I wonder if we have those original files. I mean, they're so old.
They said that they weren't going to fix
they're
the paper, they were
copying
going
them.
to just fix the online, but the online versions need to be corrected too.
Yeah.
So we were going to have some sort of a team going. to
Yeah.
correct them.
We're going to have
thank you.
work to do. We're just creating, we've created more work for ourselves, haven't we? Put enough errors in your product and people push that plate back. Cook my meat
Also,
again.
I don't know if this is a good place to bring this up, but I got a call from Paul Young asking for some cultural diverse students for he's doing some sort of video.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
needs, Asian students who are in the upper levels to be able to talk about ESL and then videotape them walking in their daily lives and doing whatever. So, Bob, if you can pass that on to Paul, if you see him, are there any incentives for telling these students that we're asking them to be part of this project? What do they get out of it? Because this is very time consuming.
It is.
So when I did this DL videos with my student, it was so time consuming. So what can we tell these students? Will they get a mug? I mean, will they get a t-shirt or what are we?
That's a good question. I will ask him. Yeah, because I've seen some of the videos. They're beautiful that he's doing with students. Powerful, but they are super time consuming. So I don't know. I will ask him because yeah, it's good to know that you want to share with these prospective students that it's a time commitment that they would be, accepting. So
Yeah,
billing on the
so
opening
students are
credits,
busy.
tab cards, that's Ms. Alvarez. We do. We have free tab cards now. Yay.
Who does?
We're going to be distributing tab
They're coming
cards.
soon.
They're coming soon. All students get them.
How about teachers?
Probably two. I mean, why not? I got mine here. Yay.
All you
Okay,
have
you
to do is
guys,
take a class.
make a class. Okay, we're at the end of our time. I want to thank everyone for coming. Have a wonderful weekend. Watch the Super Bowl or don't watch it. Watch the national anthem or don't watch it. And Rihanna halftime.
Guns up, Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Kevin. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good
Happy
weekend.
trails.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming. Are you okay with signing in on the feedback form?